1933, the experts have been calling this a biohazard. It's milk. Also, this is going to be the most censored video I've ever filmed on my channel or will ever upload, because if I even dare say raw milk, YouTube will destroy. Mark my words, they will destroy my ability. I'm not going to lie. They say that this right here is 840 times more dangerous than processed water, whatever that means. Like, water's like, I feel like to some extent, unprocessed water is like kind of pretty good unless it's got, like pee and poop in it. But like processed water, I don't know. I feel like that's a very broad range to kind of go off of. But like that's what it says online, so I'm going with it. But if it's so deadly, why is it mentioned 50 times in the Bible as a blessing? And why did Jeffrey Epstein's doctor prescribe it to him? And then I just want to point out that when you look this up on Google, it will tell you that milk was never mentioned in the Epstein files, which is so funny to me because I literally looked it up on the US Gov website and it is mentioned a couple times. Look at this. Look at this. I took some screenshots. I came with receipts. And so, yeah, why? Interesting. Also, notice how when I look this up, AI continues to AI-splain to me that it's so dangerous. What are you guys defending? What are you guys defending? So I'm going to be spending the next 7 days on this forbidden fuel to see if it's a threat or a cheat code for masculinity. Also, they say there's a little bit of pee and poop in this. So what is my goal for this powerhouse fuel right here, this forbidden illegal fuel? Well, in the next 7 months, I will be having a baby. I'm pregnant. I'm not pregnant, but my wife's pregnant. So there's that. That's just just you guys. I'm not pregnant. Like my wife. So because of that alone, I need to get my YouTube to be successful, and the number one way you can do that is, well, you just got to make some risks. You got to low-key risk your life so that, the people on YouTube watch the video, like it, subscribe, and share it. So, I mean, if you guys haven't done that, help me out and fulfill my goal, I'd be very grateful. I'd be grateful because I would like to be able to be home with my child and provide and be a present father, which, some of you guys don't have. And also, it'd be pretty nice to have some dad lore. And what way to get dad lore if you don't take some risks and do things for stories, or you do things so you don't have stories, that's I guess the other risk. But now let's take a look at my physique. All right, post-workout. Now, in order to track to see if this is actually even doing anything, I'm basing it off of maybe some testosterone things, which you can test with like grip strength kind of stuff. Like you can base someone's testosterone off that. I'm not gonna be. Let's see what I got. See those dents? Listen, I was trying as hard as I possibly could. So don't say that this is fake. When I crush this apple at the end of the week, you'll know what's right for you. And maybe physical appearance. I've not been working out. I have not been taking any supplements like creatine or anything like that over the past couple weeks. I'm completely unloaded off of that. And so this is going to be completely raw. I'm actually quite underfed. I've not been getting my calorie intake for the past couple weeks as well. So I've lost a lot of weight. So I don't know. Like the way I might look, this might be a little shocking. Might not be. Could be underwhelming. Could end up in the hospital. Spoiler, I do end up in the hospital, but it is not for what you would expect. Just keep watching. Now, obviously, I'm pretty skinny, but this is my pump right now. This is what I'm looking like. Okay. I don't know, maybe not crazy impressive, but right now, okay, a little ab. But in all reality, I'm not just doing this for views. I'm auditing my life for my daughter's birth in September. Because honestly, I feel like I haven't really done a lot and I'm not at my fullest potential. And I don't know, if the elites are prescribing this, then what makes it so different for us? Also, this is my second vlog I've ever filmed on this channel. So subscribe if you guys like it. I'm doing this every Saturday along with some other educational videos. So join in, be a part. Could be fun. Clearly, the billionaires and millionaires upstairs are allowed to drink this, but not us, the cattle of the earth. the working class people, this is for science. I'm not a doctor nor a professional, so please consult your doctor or professional, because what do I know at the end of the day? 8 ounces. Bottoms up. Because I've done a lot of research. There's a couple things you need to consider when drinking raw milk, because it actually can be really dangerous if not treated properly, or if the farm that milks the cows and sells the milk is not using proper sanitization methods, which is extremely important. So do your research. I've done a lot of research on my farm. 8 ounces. It tastes pretty good, actually. Well, that was the first 4 cups. I think it was 4 cups of the day. If I didn't, I'll review the footage and make sure, but pretty good. So far, feel pretty good. I'm kind of confused why we aren't allowed to drink this when the people at the top, like as it suggests in his own files, like, why are they allowed to drink this? The very thing that they tell us to fear. But then they'll have you like eat seed oils and soy, which is killing your masculinity. It's literally giving you gynoplasty and baby fat. And you've never seen that in men. Go look at men in the 1960s. Bone structure, intense. Sunken, hollow cheekbones, intense. You don't see that anymore. So what changed? It's clearly something going on with our diet, and I think something is wrong. Why have we drunk this for thousands of years, and now suddenly in 1933, it's suddenly like it's illegal. It doesn't make, I don't know. It's just not adding up to me. So I totally forgot. My cousins came over today to help me fix a car problem that I was working on like literally a couple months ago. Here's my car, by the way. It was the IAC, which is the air control something. So they helped me fix that up, and then I forgot the ladder out here. Anyways, today was really good. I think if I were to say anything, did I notice any major differences or anything like that? Hard to say. But I think for sure one thing, maybe it was just a placebo. I've drunk milk in the past, and I've been really good at staying consistent at that. But I've never drunk the recommended dosage, which was within the 3 to 5 cup range. I still got 3 cups at least, and that was extremely helpful. So I'm super curious to see what 4 cups is gonna be like tomorrow. Obviously I'm gonna drink the 4th cup to make sure that I'm actually getting it in. But so far so good. Energy wise, felt pretty dang good. But without further ado, let's drink the last little bit. That's so good. Now here's the thing about today. What we've got going on right now. Look at that. Look how much I've drunk. And I'm not gonna lie, I had my cousins over and they indulged a little bit. But he didn't have a full cup. So I mean, I'm thinking it's still going to work. Worst comes to worst, I finish this week out with a cup less, but I think we'll get our results before then. I'll be as bold to say that. But we're gonna see, because this morning when I woke up, I felt absolutely horrible. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I felt so good. Actually, arguably, I didn't even think about that until I started filming this. Like, you know when you wake up and you just feel tired, like you never even got any sleep to begin with? You know what I'm talking about? But I felt completely fine. Like, I actually felt like I got good rest. And it's not like I went to bed like at any other time than I normally would. In fact, I'd say we go to bed relatively late. But maybe early compared to a lot of you guys. We go to bed at like 10, and I still feel like exhausted when I wake up. Like, I felt fine this morning, which normally, I don't know. So that's something. So we're gonna do our 4 cups right now. Let's go. So good. So 4 cups down now. I am actually going to be going to the gym, which one car problem to the next. This video is going to be like 7 days of car problems. No, but on a real note, I went to go get the car all started up, go to the gym, and all of a sudden it chokes out on me. I'm like, oh no. So I ran all sorts of tests. I'm telling you guys, I feel like a certified mechanic now. Like, look at this. I was wearing my Barrel Fit sweats right here, because I've determined it's like a fuel problem, like a fuel delivery problem. So it might be a fuel pump. So more problems, more money, hey, nothing new, right? That's life. That's life. So but I still got to work out. I'm not going to let that change anything, like one situation. So I'm going to get down and give myself a little mini leg day today for you guys, and you guys get to watch me.
Porque mi amor, why did you?
Next, 10 sets of these. Some rodeo cowboy.
Leave me waiting here. Why did you go? Where is the touch? Where is the heart? Where?
Gosh, I'm shaking. I feel like I'm twerking. My butt's jiggling. Oh. I lost count already, bruh. Oh my gosh. I'm sweating like a dog. But I'm trying to avoid any placebos and the assumptions that could be a placebo. But I do feel like maybe I had a lot more power. This workout's really strange. Again, I don't know if it's a placebo, so I guess time will tell, but. Okay, so it's day 3 of this challenge. Is it day 3? Yeah, it is. It's day 3. It's been really busy. I didn't really get to film a whole lot, but it's been a really special day because we got to go and do our first ultrasound for our daughter to be, and that was a special experience. And it just really gets you to think and ponder on just how powerful God is and what he can do for us in our lives. And it does make you think, as it becomes more realistic, that there is a responsibility coming, that there is going to be some changes, that you are going to have to become the best man and father that you can be. And you start thinking, like, how on earth is it possible in this world that is solely based on deception and lying and cheating, that you discern what is right or what is truth from what is wrong? Because everybody has a different truth. And I think it really does come down to asking God. And just as James 1:5 directs, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. And that's what I think we should do when we aren't sure if we can drink milk, or what diet is best for our bodies, what is the best, like, if we can't be sure, then we should ask God and really consult with him and study the scriptures, and not just make it like a mundane thing where you look for a yes or no. You just study and pray, and not just look at the sources that everybody's looking, the number one highlighted source on the internet. Look elsewhere. Keep looking, keep digging. Look at the past, look at your ancestors. Look at the way that God has organized and constructed this world, and then decide for yourself, is this the way he wanted it to be? And I think when you really consider and you bring God into it, a whole new light comes into your life, and you do find clarity. And I think, funny enough, that's what this video is really about, as I guess finding clarity. I just want to highlight the absurdity of this world, that a 17-year-old boy can go in to a 7-Eleven and buy a 300 milligram caffeinated drink, full of all sorts of chemicals you can't even pronounce, you don't even know what they are, all sorts of dyes, all sorts of everything, and packed full of sugar. Then when you want to go buy some milk, you have to sign a waiver, and heck, you might even have to cross state lines depending on where you are, because it's no different than buying black tar heroin from the dealer in the alleyway by your school. You know what I'm saying? It feels no different. And that drives me crazy, that you got to go find some secret dude, and he's got to specifically label this carton, this gallon, so that it says not for human consumption. Yet we allow our children to go and eat this sugar, to eat Skittles, which has arsenic in it. Go look at all of these candies that you feed your children, and they're full of arsenic. But this, a creation from God, is illegal? It makes me angry, and I don't want to raise a child in ignorance. And I don't want to raise a child based off of what the world wants for my child, because Last time I checked, my grandparents never had any health problems. They didn't even have half the amount of restrictions to their food, and most of it came from a farm, locally. And I know that there's one difference. They had no health problems, and our generation does. We are the sickest generation to ever exist, and we just simply decide to comply, and that makes me angry. So with that thought, I'm going to drink my 4 cups of milk, and I'm drinking it way late in the day. It's kind of later at night, but I have been able to feel the results just maybe even from drinking it yesterday and having it in my system. I've felt extremely good. I feel extremely happy. I mean, just think, when your hormones are all intact, when your when chemically your brain is in balance, of course you would feel better. When your gut's happy, you should be happy. And with all the probiotics and the bacterias that do heal your gut lining, I don't see why this is so bad. I feel better than I've ever felt, and I don't think I need to drink an energy drink every morning at all, as long as I get my dosage of this. Anyways, let's do this. Got both right here. I'm actually gonna have to buy more because we hyperindulged. Also, I love that when my wife and I would go to Costco and buy milk, that milk would like almost last for a month. And this stuff will be absolutely just, it'll be so bad just a little over a week later. It's insane. That should tell you something. It's a new experience every time. This one was a lot creamier than the other gallon. I like it. Here's the mission of Redmond Farms. More than a decade ago, we started Redmond Heritage Farms because we wanted our own families to have the cleanest, most nutritious milk nature could create. It's been an exciting and humbling journey, and we're happy we have the chance to share it with you. Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed, get the rest I need. I just want to close with one more thing with this day. I just feel so grateful. So grateful for my YouTube channel, so grateful for the money to be able to afford this $13 milk. And honestly, it's such a blessing, you know, that we can afford this. And I hope that one day when you have to decide between health and money, we can choose health every day. I hate that this has to be so dang expensive, that it has to be so hard to get because the government thinks we should not have it. But they also think that we need fluoride in our water to make us a little bit more gay. And I can't stand for it anymore, and I just do not believe it. I worship God and God only. Those are my words. Good night, guys. Love ya. My honest, humble opinion, there has got to be some correlation with raw milk and sleep. There has got to be. I've been having the best sleep of my entire life, and like that's okay. And then, again, like I know I've been drinking raw milk, right? Like I have been. All right, you guys know I've drunk raw milk before, but never this much. Never the recommended dosage. This is literally what I looked up before this challenge started. How much milk would I have to consume to actually notice a difference? And it said within the 3 to 5 cup range. Okay? Honestly, energy levels exceedingly high. Sleep has been the best sleep I've had in a long time. Like, okay, like I'm gonna go back and say this again. It shouldn't be natural to wake up and feel like you've never got any sleep to begin with. That shouldn't be natural, and it shouldn't be even a thing. Why do we all accept that? Why do we all allow that? That's the craziest thought to me. Anyway, sorry my hair's wet. I've been looking like a freak this whole video, so I apologize. I need a haircut desperately. But my barber is my wife, and she is really sick. So I'm not even gonna ask. Okay, we will grow it out. I'm gonna look like a homeless guy in just a couple weeks, but that's a-okay with me. So without further ado, I am gonna go teach some art classes. I just woke up, got ready. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. No, I don't know about you. I haven't drunk my raw milk yet today, but again, I think it's in the system. Must be circulating. I feel like I took pre-workout this morning. That's crazy. Oh, that is crazy. You guys know the drill. Let's drink our 4 cups. So I did a little bit of research as far as if raw milk is actually helping my sleep. And it turns out there's a lot of research that suggests that it probably is. One of those things being that milk is extremely high in magnesium, which you do not see in pasteurized milk because simply pasteurized milk cooks out all these nutrients, these vitamins, the vitamin A and B and all those different things. But when you do drink milk, you do get those vitamins. You do get those healthy bacteria that are good for your gut biome. And of course you get some magnesium, which is great for sleep. And unfortunately, people today are highly deficient in magnesium. So if you aren't drinking milk, then you gotta be taking supplements. But ideally, God created food and the world so that we didn't have to take pills every single day. He created food so that we had the nutrients we needed so we could go on with our day, and I think that only makes sense. So I think it does confirm the fact that maybe milk is actually helping my sleep get better, because I've been sleeping great. I'm waking up feeling alive, and not only that, but throughout the entire day, I have a lot of energy. My mind feels very, very clear. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I assume that's from the fats. You know, it is high in fat, so it's good for your brain. And so your brain needs fat. A lot of people are going to tell you that fat is really bad for you, but fat is actually extremely good for your brain, and we are also highly deficient in that as well. So I want to read a little bit, and I just want to talk a bit about, there's two scriptures I want to reference. So it says this in Joel 3:18. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim." Strange name for a valley, but it says it right there, and it's talking about beverages. It's talking about wine. It's talking about milk. It's talking about water. But these were just, to them, some of the most valuable things out there. And then in Proverbs 27:27, "And thou shalt have goat's milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance for thy maidens." Digestible. And if you want to talk about digestion, milk it naturally comes with lactase, which is an enzyme that helps us to process it. So that's why when you have pasteurized milk, a lot of people are lactose intolerant and they poop their pants and all sorts of different things, right? It's because it lacks that enzyme that our bodies require to be able to process it. And so I don't know, I was so confused for so long, and I've never received more hate than when I talked about milk. Like, everybody attacked me, and I was so confused, and so I just used it as rage bait, and that's also why I'm filming this video. But also feel like we need to start talking about it more, because with all these health benefits and how only 1 in 8 million people are hospitalized every year, that's not people dying or anything like that. They just become hospitalized for milk, and that could easily be from not doing your research and going and getting milk from places that don't sanitize properly and those kinds of things. There's so many factors to consider with that. So yeah, God promised a land of milk and honey. He didn't say pasteurized and fortified. So yeah, this week I've learned a lot. So yeah, I am returning to this design that was good enough for the prophets, and I will follow the prophet with this. It only makes sense. I'm griping every single night, but like, I just feel passionate about this. This stuff is good. Why can't we have this? I mean, we know that the Romans did a lot of things to keep their slaves or their people docile and confused and full of estrogen, right? And I wouldn't doubt they do the same thing to us. Why is it that these good things for us are called evil, and that these evil things are called good? Sounds just like the Bible to me and what God warns us about, and I don't want any part of that. So I think this has been a really cool experience so far. I'm just gonna rush through these next couple days, but overall, it's been very powerful, and I can't wait to see what it's gonna be like by the end of the 7 days. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go to bed, get some rest, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm feeling tipsy. I'm on the move. We're getting frisky. We're in the groove. People are smiling, and the music is on fire.
So I finally finished the second gallon, which means that officially we have, I don't know, I feel like maybe we've completed the challenge. I mean, I have tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day, but milk is very expensive. And yeah, I might have hyperindulged, so we're coming out a little bit shorter than I thought. But at the end of the day, I think the conclusion has been made. I don't think I could have been sold any more than I am right now. It just overall has been really good. I think the overall promised blessings that, you know, you hear that this whole health space talk about with milk is ultimately very true. And those things are mental clarity, deeper sleep, and that alpha drive to provide and protect. Overall, it was all right. It was all true. And I definitely felt all of that a lot over this past week, which is kind of crazy to receive such insane results in just, you know, almost over a little over 24 hours. I feel like that's when I started recognizing the results. And at first I did think they were placebos, but as the week went on, I just realized that this is the way I now feel, which is not normal. And it came at a very needful time where I was feeling a little lack of motivation. I wasn't feeling as inspired. I wasn't feeling as excited about life. Like, I knew that there was a lot I had to do, but I just didn't have the energy to do it. And I think it really just did come down to my health. Whatever that the problem was, I feel like it was solved, knock on wood. So tomorrow I'm going to be laying out the verdict of this 7-day challenge. Overall, there's a lot of things as I filmed that I'm like, I wish I could have done more of. I wish I was a little bit more cinematic. I wish I was able to provide more, you know, more footage for you guys. But obviously I'm going to get better and better as these weeks go on and as I keep filming these vlogs, because I really do enjoy it. But I hope you guys understand that I'm being 100% genuine. This is a real video, and I'm not giving you guys fake results. This is genuinely how I felt, and I invite you guys, if you trust it, you know, no worries if you don't, that's fine too, to test it out. I feel like a lot of people's problems in this world would be solved if we didn't have the restrictions to some of these foods that we do. So if your state sells it, take a look, find out, check it out. Just try it once, you know, and I think it's definitely worth it. As I have done a little bit of research, I filmed another video on this that's going to come out in the next couple months, but I've learned a lot about why they made milk illegal. I've learned a lot about, you know, the exact story behind it all. And it's pretty disturbing. In fact, as I studied and I researched and I looked at this, I found out that in the 1700s to 1800s, rural Americans had little to zero health problems. And that's what they discovered with milk. And they found that it was just a superfood. They always regarded it as a powerful food and also as a supplement. But as time went on, I don't know what happened. I think it was maybe a means to maybe control the farming system, maybe to sell or push these massive machines for pasteurization that would ultimately generate lots and lots of money, where they started chaining these cows up, literally chaining them up and feeding them this alcohol grain slop. And so these cows are eating this alcohol grain, and ultimately their milk was being infected by it. And so when they produced milk, the enzymes were dead, all these things were dead, and people were getting severely sick. This was never a problem that was ever recorded before that point. Never. Now, who exactly changed this entire way of farming? Well, it was the Rockefellers, which is a pretty prominent family in the US, and they started pushing this so that they could then lobby to change up farming, and they started to require these pasteurization machines that would essentially clean the milk, and then they would add some of these vitamins back in. Ultimately, we learned that nothing ever happened, nothing ever changed, nothing was ever good about it. And it actually put a lot of small farms out of business that couldn't afford these new machines and couldn't keep up. It did change the health world. It did change how we do everything with food and our supplements today. And it's really sad to see that all for the sake of money, one family can control so much of the world, and actually create more health problems for us. And it's terrible. These are things that we see prophesied about in the Bible, in all the scriptures. All the prophets talked about all of this happening today, and it's quite tragic that anyone would twist and pervert the creation of God. They didn't clean the farms, they boiled the dirt. For whatever reason, they've always decided to profit off the ill, and it just does not sit right with me. But anyways, I'm not going to say much more. Tomorrow I'm going to give the final verdict, really talk about it, and we'll decide that if this is really a good method, which I feel like I have a pretty good idea of right now. In the meantime, I'm going to get to bed. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. For the final day, even though I did not have my 4 cups of milk left, I still got my workouts in. It was definitely in my system, and I was feeling very, very good. very bouncy, very strong, you could say. Very, very controlled. It is day 7, and we're gonna check out my physique today. Obviously, I've not gained any weight, so you have to keep that in consideration. And I did not work out upper body like I did last time. The way things landed with my workout plan, it was lower body today, which is seemingly all I film. It's my lower body. I don't know. You probably don't notice too much of a difference. I feel like this one, I don't know. Am I broader? I don't know. I have no idea. We'll have the comparison photos and everything. But overall, I feel good. I'm still underweight. But I will be gaining it all back in no time. That's what we got. Overall, I did the physique check and I felt pretty good, but I didn't notice much of a difference. Shoulder width, maybe it was just all mental, and I'm pretty sure it was. I felt a lot more widthy, maybe a little bit more broad. That's the proper terminology, right? But I know that it's highly unlikely that any of that is possible. I feel like I would need to do another one of these tests and actually give it more time, have proper diet, drink maybe a little bit more raw milk, but overall, it felt good. I guess that's what matters in the end. But I'll let you guys be the judge. If you guys feel like there's any change, if any, let me know down in the comments. If you guys feel like it didn't even work, you can also let me know. There is only one more thing to test out. It definitely didn't work, but holy cow. Look at that. I survived this dangerous milk. But more importantly, I'm learning to stop being afraid of what the world calls risky. Because if we lived by the world's standards, we would never get anything done. We would never achieve anything. And if I'm going to raise a child and stand apart, and if I want my child to do the same exact thing, I'm gonna have to lead the way. And in a world of cowardice men and masculine women, nobody truly progresses until they humble themselves and come back to God and do what He has called them to do. I've learned a lot with this challenge. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've enjoyed it. Milk tastes really good. I learned that you can control your health. You can control how much energy you have throughout the day. And it really does come down to your research, your prayer, and your connection to God. And it really doesn't matter what I think, because it comes down to you guys. Nothing I say will matter unless you do the research yourself. But for me, I feel that true health was unlocked this week, and I look forward to continuing to drink more and more and more. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching this. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. I would love to see you guys around here a little bit more often. And anyways, without further ado, I'm going to be posting a vlog like this every single Saturday, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Actually, I'll see you Monday.